Hello and welcome back to Arsenal Analysed. I'm JC. Today I bring you the latest Arsenal news. So if you are looking forward to being kept up to date with all things Arsenal, do go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe to make sure you don't miss out in future. Let's waste no more time at all and dive straight into things, and probably with a story that doesn't surprise too many, regarding a certain Mikel Merino. As of yesterday, Fabrizio Romano reported that he was on the verge of joining Arsenal after direct club-to-club talks in London, and there are even many more reports today suggesting that he will sign for Arsenal today in the region of around 30 to 35 million euros. Now, this is a story that's rumbled on for many weeks and even many months now, going back to way before the Euros even started. And it really has for a while now felt like just a matter of time rather than if. And he certainly bolsters the numbers in Arsenal's midfield, to say the least. A lot of question marks over Thomas Partey's performance at the weekend. So it could be a very welcomed addition in midfield to play alongside the likes of Declan Rice and former colleague Martin Odegaard, where they both obviously play together at Real Sociedad. Now, one story that has surprised me in the last 24 hours, a report coming out of Italy regarding a Lookman of Atalanta. Now, according to Alfredo Padula, Arsenal are prepared to offer a proposal worth around 50 million euros plus bonuses for Lookman, with the possibility of including Gabriel, who has been linked with a move away from the club throughout this window. And there were question marks as to whether or not it would be him or Zinchenko that leaves the club, given the signing of Ricardo Calafiori. Now, with Zinchenko being gifted a new squad number, it makes a lot of sense that Gabriel is continuing to be linked with a move away from the club. Whether or not it involves a deal including Lookman, we'll have to wait and see. This isn't one that I'm massively convinced by, and apparently, according to this same report, Atalanta are actually requesting somewhere in the region of around 65 to 70 million euros for the player, with Liverpool also in the background, which does surprise me given all of the forward players they currently have available at their disposal. As I said, this isn't one that massively convinces me, and typically during the transfer window we will see a lot of players linked with Arsenal, some of those rumours just being rumours, of course. Now, in the last 24 hours we have had further updates regarding the exit of Eddie Nketiah, who now looks set to join following Premier League side Nottingham Forest for a fee of around £30 million. Now, personal terms are said to have already been agreed. This isn't a report which is rumour now. There are many reliable sources on social media and various sports outlets who are reporting that this is pretty much done now at the advanced stages. Crystal Palace were a club who was said to be also interested in Eddie Nketiah, but nothing really materialised in the form of a bid, and it now does look like Eddie Nketiah is going to be a Nottingham Forest player before the window closes, which begs the question from an Arsenal point of view. We have Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus, who can play as that forward number 9, however you want to look at it. Will Arsenal look to maybe surprise a few fans between now and that ever approaching close to the window? Bring in a forward. Now, a lot of people have suggested that Arsenal are looking to have a sort of one out, one in approach to this particular market. Does that mean that once Eddie Nketiah leaves, Mikel Merino will come in? Is that what's caused maybe some of the delays in that deal getting done? And does it leave us short up top? What are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comments below. Do Arsenal need to bring in a forward? And if so, who would you like to see Arsenal bring in because of that? Up next, we have Charlie Patino. He has agreed a move away from Arsenal. A lot of hype around this player. One of the names in recent years that have been said to have a huge future at Arsenal, and for one reason or another it hasn't worked out, as it does for a lot of players that come through the Arsenal academy, unfortunately. Now, he spent last season on loan at Swansea, which was somewhat successful, seemed pretty good, and signed an extension before leaving the club. He's only got a year left on his deal now at Arsenal, and Arsenal have agreed a fee with second tier Spanish side Deportivo La Coruña of £1 million. So all the very best to Charlie Patino. A little bit of a shame that it hasn't worked out for him at Arsenal, but as I said, it seems as though there are 2 or 3 players at Arsenal in the academy that always seem to have a really bright future. He was certainly one of them. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked out for him, and Arsenal move on to the next set of youngsters to come through in the next few years. Moving into the goalkeeping position, Aaron Ramsdale is continuing to be linked with a move away from the club. This is something that's rumbled on from the beginning of last season when Arsenal brought in David Raya. Obviously, there were links in January last year for him to, or this year even, for him to leave the club. It didn't materialise, as Arsenal didn't want to be left short in the goalkeeping department. Now that the new season has started, he continues to be linked with a move away from the club. More recently, Ajax made inquiries which were knocked back over the fee, apparently, according to rumour. And the latest story is that Wolves are exploring the possibility of taking Aaron Ramsdale on loan for the whole of the upcoming season, paying the majority but not quite all of his wages, with the option, which is the bit that I'm not sure on, to buy him for around £25 million. Now, if this does materialise, the rumour is that Arsenal will look to replace Aaron Ramsdale with Espanyol goalkeeper who recently came back from the Olympics, with Juan Garcia, who coincidentally has a buyout clause in his contract of £25 million. Now, whether or not Arsenal go for a like-for-like change in terms of monetary value for both goalkeepers will yet to be seen. Whether Arsenal look to broker a deal that's slightly less than £25 million, we will have to wait and see. We have been linked with other goalkeepers in this window, but with that deadline fast approaching, maybe a goalkeeper with a release clause where that negotiation is going to be much quicker, or should I say there isn't even going to be one, could be the best solution for Arsenal. And it is also said that the Espanyol goalkeeper is happy, or would be happy, playing second fiddle to David Raya, which is something we all know that Aaron Ramsdale isn't too keen about. Now, some really good news coming out in various newsletters in the last few days is around the extension of none other than Mikel Arteta, who really has transformed this club in recent years. His contract is due to finish at the end of next season, and as Arsenal grow from strength to strength season on season, it is only natural that new discussions have taken place around a new long-term deal for Mikel Arteta. The club are very happy with his performances and the relationship that he has with the board, the owners, Edu. Everything seems to be working very well. So this comes as absolutely no surprise. And for me personally, I don't think that there's another manager out there at the moment available, or that we could maybe prize away from their club, who is going to offer more than what Mikel Arteta does. And it just seems like the natural choice to extend Mikel Arteta. I do think he will bring Arsenal a Premier League trophy in the next season or two. So we'll have to wait and see whether or not people clip that or not. Let me know down in the comments below. Do you think this is the right move by Arsenal? offering Mikel Arteta an extension. And to finish up today's news video regarding a couple of youngsters that unfortunately, I wouldn't say not necessarily made it at Arsenal, but couldn't quite see a path into the first team. And that is Kozadubri and Ruel Walters, who both left the club on free transfers in the summer. They were unable to agree deals with the club. Like I said, they wanted a bit of a path into the first team and saw that the route was obviously very difficult for the pair. They signed for Brighton and Luton respectively, but Arsenal have failed to come to an agreement with both of those clubs over compensation for the two players. So this will now go to a tribunal to settle the figure for both the players. Now, typically, those figures have always been less than £1 million for youngsters leaving clubs for free. Whether or not it's anything more than that, I don't know. But generally speaking, in the past, whether it's Arsenal or other clubs involved, it's normally less than £1 million. I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong. So two future players that could have been good for Arsenal, we'll have to wait and see. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on all of the stories that I've decided to bring you today. All of the information is available online, whether that's social media or various news outlets. They're all searchable, all readable as well, so go and check them out. If you have enjoyed today's video, if you've taken something from it, if something excites you, maybe something's disappointed you, I don't know, do go ahead and hit that like button. And as soon as I've got more news to bring you regarding Arsenal Football Club, I will bring you another video. To make sure that you don't miss out, of course, go and subscribe. But for now, I'm Jake from Arsenal Analysed. Stay take care and take safe. Come on, you Gunners.